and welcome to the Never Ever Met in Love and Marriage Detroit finale review panel. Okay, let me make that clear.
That was the finale, though. We ended on a fight. That's how we doing.
I guess maybe they're gonna resolve it at the reunion, but
maybe on the reunion 2 years ago.
Girl, we already know, if I'm not mistaken, that Brandon and Christina, we'll get there, y'all. We'll get there.
Look, I'm tired of seeing them on my screen, so I'm okay with however they ended it.
Look, when he said something about he was ready to divorce the kids too, that's when I said, you know what? I'm happy you going off my TV.
He said divorce kids too? I missed that.
No, they were showing the preview for the reunion. And they were talking, and Carlos was asking him, like, oh, you was really ready to get divorced? And he was like, well, yeah. He was like, but what about your kid? He was like, I was ready to divorce them too. And like, you just look at everybody's face around the room. Yeah.
That man really think he the prize for real.
He really do. That it's him in that bun. I'm telling you, that man bun. Hey, baby. Happy Sunday, y'all. Hey, Kenya, welcome. I just finished watching and I'm ready for this. Okay. Thank y'all. Hey, Xavier, good morning or good afternoon, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm off. I slept late, so technically for me it is.
I like that Afro caramel ladies. I like
that. Thank you so much, Chuck. Good afternoon. When they said finale, I was so confused.
And I rejoiced.
I was gonna say, but were you rejoicing though, Xavier? Were you rejoicing? Kenya said, well, I don't watch Love and Marriage Detroit, just Never Ever Met. But that's okay, Kenya. Again, there's going to be a fork in the road. And if you choose to take the other route and exit the live, nobody's going to be upset. All right. We still appreciate and love y'all. Xavier said, did y'all see what he said about Coco Jones? Brandon is a piece of work. I did not see what he said. Let us know, because I'm sure it was ignorant. JB, give me a second. Once it gets to let me get through my scene. I did mean to send you the link. I'm happy to see that you're up. So if you want to come up and join us, you are more than welcome. But yeah, y'all. So again, we're here to get into the Never Ever Met. And what episode was this? Season 2, episode 5. And then we're on the finale of season 2 of Detroit. So let's go ahead, run this intro, and then let's get into this recap and let's get shady, y'all. All right, before we get into the thick of it, I just have to call out, good afternoon, King Retro. Love and Marriage Detroit, my city is on the map. That is a big laugh out loud, sir. A big
not for a good reason.
You know what? Not your city is on the map.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say you must not watch the show. You must not watch the show because you would be like,
all right, what up, Retro? You know, anything with Detroit. He'd be like, yeah, Detroit.
Right. But that's why I'm saying he clearly doesn't watch the show because he wouldn't be up here. My city's on the map.
What up, Retro?
Hey, just chilling. Welcome. I'm always here to support. Really B knows I'll watch.
No, not at all. Right.
Right.
This is not watching that mess.
Xavier said Brandon said that her voice was too deep and not soft enough. He said she didn't give vocal hugs, whatever the hell that means.
Coco Jones?
He also thought that his wife was ready for that damn performance.
I was just about to say, let's not get into Christina's
judgment.
Okay.
She will catch a stray real quick.
Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Again, look at the background. We never ever met. Let's get out of Detroit right now, okay?
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Oh, y'all are so funny.
Never ever met.
And I will say this, I ain't even gonna hold you. I said, well, let me be easy because I do my little thing or whatever. And I said, let me take it easy on Christina. I said, because I'll let somebody else rip her up and beat me.
Everybody was really just trying to be supportive and be nice.
I'll let somebody else do it. All right, so this is breakups to makeups. We see that Charlie is on a video call with her mom to see her baby girl. She's missing her children. Oh, if y'all haven't already, I'm sorry. Make sure you hit the like button.
And a subscribe button. I thought about you in this scene, Tris, because I was like, I guess we figured out where the baby at.
Right. So, she's missing her kids, all of her kids. But, she said she feels like what she has with Jared is very special. Okay. And so therefore, she gonna stay even though she homesick. And so he's like, well, you know what? We could both go home. And I feel like she should have read that. I don't know if anybody else caught that when he was like, oh, well, we could just pack it up and both go home. And I was like, yeah, so he can kind of just create some distance between y'all again and basically just fall off and go do what he been doing.
Basically. When he said we could go home, that's when she should have been like, oh, okay then.
Right. And so she's like, oh, well, you better be worth it. And he's like, well, I think so. And so then Jared tells her that he can't wait to get both of the babies together. And literally my notes say this man is really playing in her face. I
really can't believe anything that comes out this man's mouth after the game. I really can't believe nothing he says no more. Talking about our bond is growing stronger. You a damn lie.
Sir, I can't listen. I can't because I find him to be disgusting after I know I've been gone for a couple of weeks, so I didn't get a chance to express my full disgust. But
we gotta let Really be cook. We gotta let her cook.
Well, I found those last 2 minutes of that episode when he was like, he just want to hit it because he waited all this time. I just found that to be the most disgusting thing that I have ever heard. Like, I understand locker room talk. I understand men say stuff like that. Like, I get it. That's how men think. That's fine. But for him to articulate that and not have a problem with the articulation and really feeling like, and he even said, oh man, I know they're going to get me for that, means that you know how disgusting that sounded when it came out your mouth. And I don't even know how to fully articulate how disgusted I am at that whole, your thought process. First of all, sir, are you 18 years old? Like, what do you mean I waited all this time to hit it? Like it's a trophy he gonna put on his
What did he say? He said crack it, really.
Crack it, hit it, whatever. And you gonna like it's a trophy you putting up on your shelf. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna add her to my collection. Like, I thought that was the most disgusting thing. And if she saw that and she still has anything to say to this man other than F you and the horse you rode in on, baby, right. I don't know what else to do with that because that was the most. I'm sorry. I know I keep saying it over and over, but I just can't even find the words to be. That is the most disgusting thing I have ever heard in my life. And he was like, "Yeah, I ain't waited all this time, so no, I don't have any intention of being with her. But I'm gonna get a piece before I go." Just disgusting.
I agree. It was terrible. It was. I love JB. He said he's not even worth a Jared's box. Okay. It's Gigi. Good Sunday afternoon, lovely people. Let's get to the always ever. Oh, okay. Hold on. Always ever gaslighters and liars. Yes. Charlie is trifling. She needs to take her postpartum ass home. Glad the insufferable Alicia and Irvin are gone. Yes, I can agree with that, y'all, because Irvin did a lot. Doing too much. All right. I don't know what's worse, Never Ever Mets or Love After Lockup. Never Ever Mets. Yeah. I think we can all really be may differ. Really be, what's your opinion?
Oh no, Never Ever Mets. Because at least with Love After Lockup, we know these people really did go to jail and they really were at the very least pen pals. With Never Ever Meets, we don't even know if these are real people. We don't even know if these are real couples. You know what I mean? That's like Love After Lockup is produced, like it's very heavily produced with the scenes and stuff. But we at least know that these people really are inmates. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's true.
With Never Ever Meets, I'm not even sure that any of these people are really couples.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's always that. So does anybody who wants to get into the insufferable Alicia and Irvin? Ocean Dreaming, welcome, boo. I don't watch the shows. I just love y'all. DMV in the house. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, boo.
Nels, you gonna get into it?
Yeah. So then Irvin is talking to everybody at breakfast about, really talking slam mess about Alicia, about how she gaslights, she's weaponizing her health. Then she comes in the kitchen. So Brandon apologized to her, for how he came at her the prior day. And she thanks him for the apology. But she was like, I really didn't appreciate feeling cornered in the kitchen. So Irvin was like, you know what? Let me get up out of here. Okay. And then he asked her to go for a walk with him. She already knew something was up. It was giving let's take a long walk. Okay. Not around.
Okay.
So he told her, you know, I don't want to do this no more. Okay. We're not a good match. And the Lord is telling me to go.
I'm mad at the Lord.
God said, what Mel say? God said,
God
go.
said go.
Okay. And she agreed. She like, yeah, let's call it quits. Okay. She said that she tried to see a connection, to see if a connection will work, but she deserves peace and friendship, fun and happiness. And sometimes you can't find that in someone you thought you might be able to. So he told her that, you know, I could find multiple reasons why I came to this decision, but I feel like you made me look like a monster. And I said, okay, well, here we go, Irvin. You didn't have to bring it. I said, you didn't have to talk about how there was multiple reasons. We knew the reasons, okay? And then talking about how she made you look like a monster star. This is where you turn to look like a monster on your own, okay?
Right.
So, you know, he was like, basically, I don't feel like you like me. Nothing's being reciprocated. And, you know, you've never developed those feelings. And then he said, you know, right before he came there, he got a call from his ex-girlfriend. I said, okay, here we go.
Why was that? I'm with Alicia.
I
don't agree with Alicia on many things, but that was unnecessary.
When you told me that this ain't gonna work, we ain't a match, that was enough.
That was enough.
Conversation. So yes, she was right. It was unnecessary. And I do believe that he did want to one-up her. Like, basically, I got a call from my ex-girlfriend. I'm leaving you here where you at, and I'm going home to be with the ex. And, you know, of course, that took a turn for the worse because, you know, she's talking about how, you know, he doesn't have enough grace, you know, for someone as delicate as her. Now, this, Alicia, she's so dramatic. But he was just like, you know what? You know, I think you're beautiful. I think you're smart. Then he said, I think you'd be a great friend, but I don't want to be your friend.
Y'all.
We were rooting for you.
I was on your side.
Nobody
was we were on your side, sir, but this was team too much for
it definitely was. And I agree with her. It was giving toxic. Because really at this point it was like he was just trying to put her down. So I couldn't blame her at all. So then he goes into the house and wants to tell everybody in the kitchen what the hell they was just talking about. And you know, some of them were shocked, some of them expected it, you know.
And can I just say, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think I pointed out last week in the review that Irvin was never around. Now that he done broke and said, look, I'm done with her. I don't really like her like that. We don't like each other. Now he just want to have a whole conversation. He want to get emotional.
Broke down in tears. I mean,
Baby, it was the tears for me. I was like, why is he crying? Why is he crying?
Why are we crying?
He went through so much.
Wow.
Okay.
And then it's the story for me.
Oh, about the ex?
And all it was she liked a picture.
Yeah. She called me right before I got here. And I felt like it was meant to be. And all she did was like, your picture, homie. Talking about this is the best ex he ever had and all this other stuff. Then I thought it was funny that Jared left off laughing. And then Irvin came and apologized for making him cry. I didn't know if he was being a smart ass or he actually thought that Jared was crying.
Right. Because he really, I was like, why are you apologizing? That man wasn't crying. That man was laughing at you. As we all were about him.
And Jared is so unserious.
I don't know. Irvin's a special one. Now I think Alicia dodged a bullet. And now I'm looking at him.
You know what? I'm not gonna say she dodged a bullet. I just agree that they both are just not a match because they both got some shit with them.
Yeah, because she got some special issues too. Because when she started speaking in tongues, then I was like, okay. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to offend nobody that's filled with the Holy Ghost, but at the same time, when she started speaking in tongues, I had the side eye.
It seemed a little out of place, a little bit. But yeah, then you know all the ladies are in tears because she's going home. The dudes clearly don't give a damn. They laughing at his ass. So they packed it up. They left. Alicia said, she wants to meet somebody in person. And it's going to take a minute for her to virtually date again. We understand. Bookie.
I love Xavier. He said, I understand Irvin about the friend comment because some people think that after a relationship fails, we could still be friends. I'll give you that. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I don't know if he needed to. He could have just said, you know what, this isn't going to work.
It was literally all on this. All he had to say was, you know what? After being here with you a few days, I'm just feeling like we're not a match. And I think we should go home.
The reality was Irvin had checked out after she told him she didn't feel safe. Like, I know they had the conversation, but I feel like he couldn't recover from that, which I understand. Because like he said, that's a very serious thing to say for a woman to say about a man, especially on like television. Like, God forbid something happened to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. But that's when he should have been like, yeah, this, because I think he just couldn't recover from that.
And you know what? I actually think he couldn't recover. I think he's been salty since the yoga incident.
I was going to say the yoga incident. I ain't going to lie.
He's been salty since yoga.
I was going to say the yoga incident never started for her.
Yeah.
You know how, like, no, really be, I think what you're saying was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But you know how you get, like, something happens, you get that little twinge and it still just always kind of eats at you a little bit. I think that's what the yoga incident was. And then the unsafe incident was just like, oh, hell no, this really ain't gonna work. This just ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I think they just weren't compatible. Like, it just wasn't. It just wasn't them. It just wasn't for them. Just wasn't for them.
Can you say he went from the ex-girlfriend calling him to now she just liked the picture? Right. It was terrible because I was like, do you realize that you just like, if here's my thing, if you just wanted an out, you had already had the out when you said you were done. So I just didn't understand, again, to hurt her, be petty. Now you got to add this extra girlfriend layer, which again was not necessary because just you're done. You're done. Just go.
And really for a man to do that, it's just so unattractive. And it really does
very unattractive.
Then it just makes you feel like, oh yeah, okay, you know what?
Right.
I'm not gonna feel nothing when I leave here. Just thank you.
Okay, JB. He said he said he should have said we both need to seek help.
They did.
And I sent you the link, JB. Just I know you said you were going to the store, but I didn't know if you want to hop on, you're more than welcome. Xavier, Alicia didn't even seem religious before this. Her speaking in tongues just threw me off. Well, I don't know what maybe I ain't gonna go nobody's different religions. Okay, Chuck. Oh, that's an unsafe couple. What took him so long to have this breakup conversation? I don't know, because we literally been saying we're on episode 5 now. We've literally been saying, I believe since episode 2, that we were ready for them to be off our screen because she just don't like him. So yeah. Agreed, Chuck. Agreed. Hey, lovely 31. Welcome. Kim said Irvin was handsome too, but a bit childish in the end. He was handsome. I was really liking him at first, and when
I thought he was cute too. I thought he was cute too, but he became real ugly to me because the way he acted at the end. Because like I said, I had his back up until the end. I was like, bruh.
Mm-hmm. So then we get into the guys. I believe they sit down. This is Brandon, Jared, and Cinco to discuss everything. And Brandon said that, that's how he's not trying to be. Basically, he's not trying to end up like that with his situation with Kiki. And so Cinco thinks that, Irvin and Alicia took too long to try to figure this out. So meanwhile, the ladies are all crying over Alicia leaving. And Irvin thinks he's leaving more mature and hopes that he can rekindle things with the ex. And of course, Alicia is just grateful as well and thankful for the peace on her way out.
Right.
And I said, well, go ahead, girl.
She need to cleanse her space, honey.
Sometimes, I mean, that energy he gave at the end, I could definitely understand. I definitely would have been saging myself. So then we see Jared. He's sitting with Britney and Charlie, and they're thinking about, well, who you think is next out the house, right? So I was like, is this turning into Big Brother Survivor? If that's what it need to be. But anyway, so Britney thinks it's going to be Kiki and Brandon if they don't start getting along. And she admits that she still hasn't had a conversation with Ty, and she feels like he's too busy trying to make everybody else in the house happy and getting lost in the sauce and, has forgotten about her. And she wants to, make their connection and vibe that they had over the phone the same in the person. And so basically Jared's like, well, you need to go have that conversation. And I just always think it's funny that Jared is around here being everybody's counselor and like mentor, and he's the most I can't say most effed up because Clay still
I was
takes
about to say, it's probably just because he was honest. A lot of people just trust him because he was honest from the beginning. Came in the house and told his skeletons. That's probably the only reason why. But other than that, no, I don't understand it either.
So what I would love to know what y'all think, because I'm gonna be honest. You know what? I won't skip ahead, but this whole Britney and Tai thing, I get wanting to, your man to check you out, make sure you good. But I also felt like I get what he was saying. Like, you can make sure I'm good too. Like, this is reciprocal. I think it's not just let me cater to you, because baby, this is your day.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Britney and Tai, but we'll get there.
We're gonna get there.
I agree with him. The name of this show really should be House of Secrets, because all these damn secrets.
I see that. That was good. Good.
Yeah, I think Kiki. I think it's Kiki.
What? Is it Kiki or Brandon? Who y'all think is the problem? It's Kiki. It's Kiki. We figure.
Baby, after Kiki done told this whole lie, yes, Kiki is absolutely the problem. Because at first I was leaning a little bit towards Brandon, because I was like, all right, Brandon, I get it. You've seen alcoholism. You have some trauma as it relates to alcoholism in your life or whatever. But when Kiki sat there and said, I know I'm late again. I know this was the episode last week, but I ain't say nothing. Baby, when she sat there and said that she had been in an 8-year relationship, and the counselor already knew the answer to that question, talking about when did y'all break up? Baby, when that hoe said 4 months, and then she gonna say, yeah, I know the math ain't math. No, the math is very clear. The math it's very clear. And then you had the nerve to say, well, our relationship broke up over infidelity. Whose infidelity? Yours or his? Because you can have a mental affair. You are literally with this man claiming that y'all have this intimate connection, whether it's a physical intimate connection or a mental intimate connection. But you saying you have this intimate connection with this man while you sitting here talking about your ex cheated on you with, multiple times. Well, it sounds like both of y'all was cheating. And now you done came up here probably just to get on the show and make a few dollars. And you trying to act like you really got this connection for Brandon, knowing good and damn well you don't. That's why your ass is drinking. Like Nell said, you thought you was on vacation. You were just going to come down to the OWN network for a couple of weeks, get you a little paycheck, and going back home and try to win this man back. That's all that is. You are not interested in this man. You have no interest in him at all. You don't even want that man to kiss you. Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere.
I want to know what the ex looked like, because I think Brandon kind of cute.
And that's what made me so mad, because Brandon seemed like he really into her, and I do think Brandon is attractive as well.
I think he really likes her, but I also think that, let's say this, if they're not in on it together, I also feel like she probably, he was her escape. Like, he was her, if she really was in this relationship with this man, was cheating on her and blah blah blah, Brandon was her escape. Brandon was the safe space, the person she could go and talk to. That was what Brandon was. And so, yeah, girl, if you don't go sit your ass
and really it's given she don't want to be on TV getting too close to this man because the ex is lurking.
Exactly. And that's what I think it is too. I think it's given. I want to go through the motions, but yeah, I don't want to do nothing on camera that's going to come back later. I agree.
Hey, JB.
Hey, JB.
Welcome. Our other special guest, JB Says What, from last week. We love having him up here and getting his male perspective on these crazy ass couples. So yeah.
People out.
So what were JB? I think we already covered it, but what were your thoughts on the Irvin and Alicia situation since you here?
I was happy to see both of them go.
Right.
Because Alicia, after the whole speaking in tongues thing, I was like, okay, you gotta get to that. You gotta go. And then her in the back of that car this week talking about, praising Jesus. I'm like, girl,
right.
Get that the man is, off his rocker, but damn, so are you. So are you happy to be away from your, like, what is it with her? But then when him gaslighting, playing with her, talking about his ex-girlfriend, I was like, dude, what was the purpose of you bringing that shit up? It was just to stick it to her. And I'm
Right.
you know, I don't like Alicia. I'm glad she didn't react to it the way that he wanted her to react to it.
And you heard him say he was looking for a reaction and he got it. I said, oh. Talking about something. I was looking for a reaction and I got it.
Can you, I ain't gonna hold you. You know what that gives? Different show. That gives like Ralph energy.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't stand me no Ralph.
Yeah. That gives Ralph energy, like really petty. Like I would never want to be with a man like that. That like, oh, once I'm no longer into you, I'm just trying to hurt you and tear you down. Yeah.
You know, when you just said his name, like you would think I knew him personally, but literally when you just said his name, it just put like a little knot in my throat. You know that little knot when you about to vomit and you just feel it right there. It's just like, oh, like I can't stand to hear that man's name.
All right. So yeah, as we know, Brandon and Kiki, some ain't right. Okay. So they get to this random destination, y'all. And they're gonna be doing this improv activity. I actually like this. It did look fun, and I was just happy that it was not involving sex. Like it had nothing to do with sex. Like we gotta work together, use our minds, teamwork. This is what I'm talking about. Okay.
I used to love doing improv.
So then Taronda, you know, says it's all about trusting or whatever. Alexis says that she's not good at this, and we can absolutely tell. And this bothers Chris. Can I tell you what bothers me? Alexis and Chris on my TV screen playing in our face. That's what bothers me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And because we and you know what else bothers me? And I'm gonna say it for you, chat, because y'all done already said it. Her wigs.
Yes, that wig.
Her wigs bothered out of me. Okay, I didn't say it. Y'all did. I just spoke up for you. Okay, on your behalf. And I get somebody said something about Kiki's wig, but I'm gonna let her live. I actually like Kiki's wig. Okay,
exactly.
But actually, Kiki changes her wigs. It's not the same wig every time, right? Doesn't she change her wigs, or is it the same wig?
I always see the curly one, but I like it. It's a good whatever she got going on.
Same wig, man. I don't know. I felt like it was different, but it could be the same one.
But yeah. So other than that, everybody seemed to like the improv class. Then we get back to the house, and Brandon tells Kiki that he wishes she was more affectionate. She admits that it's an issue for her because of her ex, and Brandon is like, well, you know, I wonder if she even like me. And
she don't.
And so then she sits him down and she tries to have like a heart-to-heart with him. And she's like, you know, I didn't like what you did at the improv when you volunteered us to go first, and I wasn't ready. And I guess basically she was saying like, I need you to read me and know when I'm uncomfortable. I feel like that's what she was trying to say. But the problem is he don't know you. So he don't know, he has to learn. And not to mention, he's trying to get to know you, but you have a wall up. Right.
But I think now I saw it a little differently. I mean, I do feel like she was telling him, but I felt like that was a healthy conversation, because she was like, you don't know that about me, so let me tell you about me. Like in that moment, I was uncomfortable going first, but I did it because I saw that you really wanted to do it. So even though it made me uncomfortable, I did it for you, but just for future reference, that's not me. So I felt like honestly, that was probably one of the most healthy conversations they had, because I felt like they were really both saying, listen, because you're right, they don't know each other in that space. So I really felt like that was her saying to him, listen, I don't like these things. I'm uncomfortable in these spaces. I probably would have been more comfortable going in the second group, but I saw you wanted to do it, so I did it. So I kind of took it like that, but I understand what you're saying though. But that's kind of how I took it though.
No, and I like your perspective as well. I guess you know what it is because when I know, it's one of those situations where it's like you can't move on if you have something blocking your blessings. You get what I'm saying? And so if you're still playing around over here, you can't fully move forward.
I feel like she's just nitpicking and finding just anything because she really don't like him. She's still dealing with the nothing he does is going to make her move her. So really, I don't know. I think it just aggravated me that she's just like, well, you know, you did this and I didn't like this, and it's just, and this is why I don't want to hug you, and this is why I don't want to kiss you. Girl, no, just tell the truth. It's because you still messing with your dude.
Yeah, I agree about that. I think it's that she's messing with the ex too, but also with Kiki. I don't know if anybody's picking up on this with Kiki. I think Kiki has some insecurities because if you notice with Kiki, like, excuse me, when she was in the back of the car, when she was in that car, and you had Clavasier and Tatiana in the back seat just kissing each other, Kiki is up there with a blanket all over. Kiki has a blanket covering her entire body,
But there's been times where she had her body out. I mean, she had like
Yeah, I do know that, there are sometimes she does have her body out, but most times when you like even in her interview, she's mostly covered up except for that one white dress that she has on that, goes all the way to the ground. So I'm wondering if maybe she has some insecurity issues and it's still also, but the biggest thing is she still hung up on that ex that she said cheated on her. But I mean, here, two cheaters together, y'all a match made in hell.
Okay, not a match made in hell. But I do know she did say she has some insecurities, and I think she does. Like, even though she dresses, she may have, midriff or whatever, but she's very. The way you can tell the way she carries herself that she's insecure. I agree.
All right, now let's jump in Cinco in this little game.
These games are messy as hell. I would love to be there. I would love to be there for all the games, for all the shit. Okay. So Cinco brought out this game where he has to list questions and then you write down the name that comes to mind. So the first question was, which couple do they think will make it to the end? And the answer, Jay and Cinco won that one. The next question was, who needs the intimacy suite? Chris and Alexis won that one. The next question was, who's the least compatible? And it was Brandon and Kiki. And then they also won the most dramatic. Then the one that got me, I said, oh, you messy asses. The next question was, who's the one who has the most secrets? And they said Tatiana and Clay. So Tatiana's looking around like, what the hell is going on? Like, what do they know that I don't know? She was like, that's crazy. Yeah, girl. And you know what? What makes it even worse is like, she's going to come back to this. Like, if he does tell her by the end of the episode, she's going to come back to this moment and be like, the whole house knew and not me.
And that's, I'm going to be honest with you, on top of everything else.
That's going to make it so much worse.
That's what it would be for me. Y'all know, y'all been here for a while.
Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, y'all know me. That's my deal breaker right there. Don't ever let me find something out about you that you ain't told me first. Okay? And other people knew and sitting around laughing, keying at me. Oh, no, that'll be done.
So here's where I'm confusion, right? I know my personality. Did she think that everybody was talking about the vegan thing? Because there's no way in the world that we all gonna be in a room and everybody says me and my dude are the people with the most secrets. And I know I don't have no damn secret.
Right.
So did she just blow it off as, oh, well, it's the whole vegan thing? Or, because I'm gonna be honest, I'd be like, no. What's the secret? Like,
right. I just want to dig deeper.
And baby, they done got me on camera going to each person individually and be like, so what's the secret? Because I felt some kind of way. Like, what y'all talking about? Let them tell me it's the vegan thing.
You know how I took it? I took it like she was shocked by it. Like, damn, where the hell that came from? And she's going to do further investigation. Mm-hmm. She's like, because everything else she's shown, look, she getting her case together. Okay. So to me, it gave, you know what? I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper and find out what the hell is going on. So yeah, I don't think she's gonna do it on camera, but I do think she's gonna go around to everybody and like, why do you feel this way? What do you know that I don't know?
Quake said, we're not leaving the table until I know what the secret is.
Exactly. I'm like, hold up. Like, for everybody to say it, nah, y'all know something that I don't know. We ain't, no.
And I just wanted to point out, Chuck, this is why I love you. Why did the parents name that child after alcohol? We've been trying to figure that out since episode 1. Why Clavatier sounds like Cavassier, but what don't Cardi B got a sister named Hennessy, so he wouldn't be the first.
I think Cardi's is supposed to be. Oh, and hers is Bacardi.
But I'm gonna say, Cardi it's Bacardi. That's Cardi's name.
I did not know that. Because because her real name is Bella Cleese or something. That's her government. But like her sister's government name, I think is Hennessy. Like on her birth certificate, I think it says Hennessy.
Well, maybe her nickname was Bacardi then. I don't know. I know Bacardi was somewhere.
Yeah, I know she did say something about her name.
I think that's where the Cardi comes from, is the Bacardi. I think that's where Cardi comes from. I know Bacardi is somewhere mixed up with Cardi B because I remember her talking about it. But maybe that's the book. Maybe that's where Bacardi. You know what I'm saying? That's where Cardi B comes from, is Bacardi.
Gotcha.
But
So yeah, Brandon takes Kiki to talk and says that I want to start fresh. Kiki agrees and tells him she appreciates his effort, but think, there's still time for them to, get it together. And I said, well, oh, okay, it's not her real birth name. Okay, thank you for correcting me, Melly. I appreciate you. Let me not tell no lies up here.
Name. Okay. I knew Bacardi was somewhere in there because I remember her talking about it. I knew Bacardi had something to do with Bacardi.
Chuck said, I'm calling CPS. I ain't mad at you. So then Britney pulls Ty to the side for a conversation as well. He apologizes for his tone and says that it seems like, what he does is not enough for her. And Britney wants to understand. So he's apologizing for yelling at so he's not apologizing for what he said. He's just apologizing for yelling across the pool. And so Ty says that he's looking for a partner to reciprocate. I think that I said this before. And from his view, she wants him to cater to her hand and foot.
Like, if you're looking for me to reciprocate catering to everybody else above you, we can do that. If that's what you want reciprocated, we can do that.
Y'all done got nails at
the bottom of the totem pole. If that's what you want, that's what you're looking for.
So other than that one example of the drinks, what other examples did we see?
The fact you ain't never made me breakfast like you said you was going to, and I had to keep on reminding you, and you still ain't do it.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Do what you said, boo. Do what you said. And
I feel like for me, the problem is their personalities don't mesh. He is the life of the party. He is the fun time. He is very extroverted, and I feel like she is introverted. And I think even outside of this situation, which I understood her points in this, like if you shouldn't have made all them promises of what you was gonna do, and then you got here, you so caught up in being the social butterfly that you forgot why you was really here. Kind of like Kiki thinking she on vacation instead of working towards getting to know Brandon. Old boy is here, like her mama said, like he in a frat house, at the boys club. So I understand. I understand where she was coming from, but I also feel like ultimately, because you were like, oh, he's always on joke time. He's this, he's that. That looks like that's just his personality, and that's not going to stop. Like that's who he is.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the joke time. The problem I had was you not following through what you said.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. Yeah,
these are at least compatible right here for me. Like if anybody's not compatible with each other, it's these two, and dramatic as hell. Because their pool scene was dramatic enough for him to call her old girl. I'm like, damn, old girl.
Yeah, no, that's pretty bad when he diminished her to an old girl. Nita said, so glad Irvin and Alicia are out of here now. Next to go are Ty and Britt. Okay, so y'all saying they next on the list. Okay, that's what it is. But so here we go again. She reminds him that he's supposed to be there for her, not them, and tells him when he lashed out in front of everybody, he didn't protect her feelings and she didn't feel safe with him and she doesn't trust him. I'm not saying that you can't use that, but I feel like it's being overly used because I just feel like if that's how you truly feel and you don't make me feel safe, then we don't need to be together. Am I incorrect? Does anybody disagree with me? Comments, panel?
The only thing, did she say that you didn't make me feel safe, or did she say emotionally?
No, my notes say she didn't feel safe with him and she doesn't trust him. If I got that wrong, y'all correct.
But she should have started with the whole Alicia thing in the kitchen.
Right.
Alicia. Because he's shown you who he is.
Right.
He ain't gonna protect you.
So Ty feels like he's trying and it's not, it's not enough for her. So he's like, we both have things that we can work on. Britney cuts him off and tells him he wants to be a class clown. I was like, okay, so now you got to start insulting the man.
She was getting a little extra. She was doing a little lot.
And so she's like, are we done? Are we done? And so she's like, fine, and walks off. And then his brother, Damon or Desmond or whoever his name, he arrives, and apparently they've known each other for a while. And so she's hopeful.
15 years. That's how she met him.
But how did she not meet him?
Huh?
Maybe he lived in a different state
with the brother. I mean, that's how she met Ty.
Yeah, but I'm confused. She knew the brother for 15 years, but you're on a show called The Never Ever Mets with his brother.
Ooh.
Okay, baby.
Like that didn't make sense to me. I was like, wait a minute.
Rocking it.
Okay. That you know what? I don't think I caught that. I was like, something's a little weird with that, but I definitely didn't catch it on that level. So then her mama shows up, who, you know, she's super close with, and she knows that she'll give it to her straight. So they both give their sides of what happened of the story. And Britney explains to her mom that Tai is acting like he's at summer camp, and both outside parties ask if they're ready to call it quits, and they both want to try to resolve it. And Britney thinks Tai's priorities just aren't in order, and that was why they had never ever met. I guess in these, well, they've only been dating for what, 5 months.
Yeah, they only been dating for like 3 months.
So even though they never ever met or may have known about each other, they just started dating 5 months ago. Again, I have questions. I'm with JB. I have questions. So her mom asked Tai after they met why he hasn't been given his undivided attention. He feels like he has to outdo himself every day, and he can't do that. And so her mother questions, well, why can't you?
And why? And you got to start somewhere. Like, okay, like you know what? I felt the mom, and I felt him too. At some point, yes, okay, you have to plateau, and every once in a while, you know, throw a little razzle dazzle in there, right? But can you start somewhere? Can we get off the stoop first?
Well, apparently he started somewhere. They said they was gonna work on it, and then he started by giving her a nice foot massage and said that he's present and he's listening, and you know, they played a little cute dating game to try to get them back on the same page, is what I had. Chuck said, I love that y'all think they were dating if they never met till now. We don't really, again, these people. Chuck, if you've been with us for a while, you know, really be myself and Nels, if we ain't met after 3 months,
we're not dating.
That's pen pals.
We pen pals.
That's just somebody you like to talk to. That's not a relationship. I wouldn't be mad at nobody. If you talking to me every day and I found out you got a baby, but if I ain't met you yet, I couldn't feel no way.
Not Chuck say, I guess I'm dating Cajun.
Shadriba says, sorry, really be with that lipstick. I think you may have a few secrets. Ooh.
What?
With the lipstick. I mean, it do look nice. It do look nice.
Thank you.
Xavier said, they think this is a vacation with itinerary. We need to stop having them in these villas and resorts. Put them in a college dorm with bunk beds. You stupid. You fun. All right, take it, Nels.
All right, so okay.
I guess it's just Kiki and Brandon, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just Kiki and Brandon were out on the balcony. And you know, she's talking about how she thought it was just gonna be super easy, cotton candy and rainbows when she first got there, but it's not. She said it's hard. It's hard as hell to open up.
It's hard because you're dealing with somebody else emotionally.
She said mainly because of her ex. So production asked her if she was still in love with her ex, and she refused to answer. And I mean, no answer is an answer.
It's the answer.
So
yeah,
we know this, and that's pretty much it. That's all I got for them.
That's all I got too. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything y'all want to add before we close out the Never Ever Mets?
I mean, no, but I ain't in no rush to get into Love and Marriage.
It's the finale, girl. It's the finale.
We got the reunion, damn it. They ain't gone yet. Well,
I will say it looks like they only have one reunion.
I think somebody said they don't have one.
You think so?
Yes, I think it's only gonna be one part. They're not gonna make us sit through 2-3 parts. So that we gotta be thankful for.
Not an extra long one.
I can't say that. You know, Carlos be playing in our face. I can't say it. But thank you so much, JB, for coming up. I know you had plans, so I appreciate you coming up here and spending some time with us and recapping and reviewing the show. I know you ready to part ways because you don't do Detroit. You don't do Detroit.
I watched a little clip of Detroit yesterday.
Oh, okay. You gonna stay for Detroit?
You gonna stick around for Detroit?
I just saw Christina's.
He said, I ain't say all that.
I saw Christina singing, and I was like, who told her to go on the stage and do that? Because it was
her husband.
Her husband, who was talking mess about Coco Jones's voice.
Everybody was up to talking about how good she did. I was like, did y'all hear what I said?
You paid attention to what they said. They were very.
They said her tone was good.
They said she had good stage presence, and that they are proud of her for going for her dream. I don't remember nobody. I mean, they were being polite. They were being polite.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, did she do a sound check? Like, shit, because this is bad. And then I was watching.
You sound like she was giving Ashley Darby tease.
Oh God, I want her to stop singing too.
No. Okay, hold on. I don't see it for Christina, okay? But the way Ashley Darby be out here howling like a damn banshee, no. Christina was not that bad.
She ain't good.
Christina can hold a tune. Ashley can't.
She ain't as bad as
Ashley. Don't know her tone, her key, her note. She don't know
nothing.
Somebody
need to hide the microphone from Ashley.
They need to turn the microphone off with Ashley.
No, what they need to do is just give her a good karaoke mic and turn the music up over her voice so that it blends.
No, she be hollering.
So you got to turn the music up over her. All right. Well, thank you so much, JB. So yeah, y'all, let's get into Love and Marriage Detroit. All right.
Oh, wait a minute, before. Oh, well, he gone now. But just FYI, JB, myself, and we're not sure who all else, we will be doing a Real Housewives of Miami panel. So y'all be on the lookout for that.
Thank you, Really B. I did hear y'all say that yesterday.
Do one of y'all watch Miami? Do y'all watch Real Housewives of Miami?
No, I've never gotten into it because I don't know. I feel like there's nobody on the cast that I'm like, oh my God, maybe I need to go back and try. But even when I saw the preview or like trailer for this upcoming season, and I like the fact that they're going all these different places, I ain't even gonna hold you. That in itself makes me want to watch it. But I don't know. I'm just not really interested enough in like the characters. Like I'm not interested in Larsa. And outside of that, I really don't. And I know about Gertie because I guess that's the one that has cancer, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, I really don't know anybody else on the show.
Okay.
I wish I did.
No, listen, quiet is kept. Miami is better than all the rest of them right now. But I understand if you don't watch it,
No, I might look. I just realized the other day, these streets, once Raising Kanan getting ready to go off, and then Real Housewives, I mean, we're on episode, like, it's getting ready to hit summertime. These YouTube streets about to get dry.
Yep.
Because people gonna be outside. So please do not count us out. I will go catch up. So I can be a part of the okay.
Yeah, because that's what I said after because you're right. We have Miami, like you said, Raising Kanan is getting ready to be done. We have Miami, Atlanta is about to be done.
Getting ready to go off in a little bit.
Yeah, Never Ever Mets. And that's pretty much all I'm reviewing right now. I'm about to start doing my retro reviews over on my channel, like doing my
Love After Lockup is about to be done.
Life After Lockup, Love After Lockup, whatever. Miami, Beyond the Gates, of course, I'll have that. And maybe I may start doing daily recaps of Beyond the Gates if because if there's nothing else coming on. Because the reason why I couldn't commit to daily recaps is because when it started, I had like 4 or 5 other shows. I was like, I can't, it's too much. But you're right. After the end of this month, it's gonna be dry. Yeah. Atlanta's probably, they're going on their second trip. Well, we hit the mid-season trailer. So Atlanta probably has about another maybe 6 or 7 more episodes, maybe. So that's about another 2 months of of Atlanta. But you're right, everything else is gonna be done by the end of this month.
Yep.
Yeah, we might be getting into some shows outside of the network, child. The only problem but here's the thing, Melly. The only problem with us, and I've gone through this. The only problem with us doing shows outside of like the views just aren't there because everybody doesn't have the streaming. So when I've done Netflix shows, I've done Hulu shows and stuff, but to be honest, the views just aren't there because everybody doesn't have it. But
even when what's the later daters? Even that one, it was like everybody was talking about it, but the views just weren't like crazy.
JB said,
but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Oh, JB said, "Ready to Love" will be back.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah."
I'm so excited.
But anyway, but we're gonna listen, we're gonna make it happen. Something I was getting ready to say. You loved my black cake, right? And I had fun doing black cake, but again, the views, the numbers weren't there. But y'all know I don't have a problem with doing, if it's a show that I'm interested in doing, I'll do the reviews even if the numbers aren't there. But I'm just saying, right, like that's the only thing. You get into doing these other shows, which are really good shows to get into, but it's just the numbers just aren't there. But it's all right, y'all. We gonna figure it out. We ain't going nowhere. We be here.
I was gonna say you gonna get us because we still got to come in and make a
figure it out. And we've been trying to, we've actually been trying to start a hot topic show with the three of us. So maybe this would be a good time for us to start.
I was gonna say, now that it's getting slow, maybe we can do that and get together and get up here and do the hot topics together once a week.
Bel Air, they did film the new season of Bel Air, and it's the final season. So I know. Y'all didn't do Bel Air though, did y'all?
No, we didn't do Bel Air.
I know I did.
But the only thing that's saving us is I think we're gonna get BMF. And y'all, I have good news. I'm so sorry. Since we're in Detroit, it's not too far off. We're getting Lamar back.
Lamar is my man. Now listen, that was the best part about season 1 was Lamar crazy ass. That was the best part about season 1 was Lamar crazy ass.
Can I tell you?
I think literally was getting B Mickey back too, didn't it?
Huh?
I think it said we were getting B Mickey back too, didn't it?
Yeah, B Mickey is there too. Yes, but I was just so when I tell you I complained all last season because I just didn't see it because Lamar wasn't there. Like when I tell you Lamar is like Lamar and BMF is like
Lamar was everything because
Ronnie and Raising Canaan.
Yeah, I couldn't really get into BMF, but Lamar definitely made it good for me. I never did Bel Air on my channel. I did it on TSF. So I never did it on my channel. I don't know.
Right. They should have never got rid of B Mickey. Right.
I agree.
All right, y'all. Let's get into Detroit. That's how much we don't want to talk about this.
Oh, somebody asked about Love and Marriage DC. I still have not. So I still have not got a confirmation on Love and Marriage DC cameras coming up. They was according to my sources, they were supposed to start filming in January. As far as I know, they have not started filming yet, but I may not have up-to-date information, but I know they did not start in January like I was told they were. Again, I was told they were approved for another season and that there will be another season. However, last I heard, they have not started filming.
Oh, okay. So the chat is saying that Love and Marriage Huntsville is supposed to be coming back next month. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, not again. If we grasping at straws here, I ain't gonna hold you. I might cover it, but I think I was kind of cool when they said Mel won't coming back, and I'm just trying to figure out what we're gonna be watching. So I may tune into the first episode to see what it gives, or maybe I'll let y'all come tell me after the fact and say, oh, it was good or it was bad. But I honestly don't think Huntsville is gonna have much to give us, y'all. I'm not even gonna be
honest though. This is what I will say about Huntsville. If I'm just gonna go ahead and be honest, I got numbers off of Huntsville, so yeah, I might do it because I did get pretty good numbers off of Huntsville. Child, y'all was the toxicity. As much as y'all talk about y'all don't like it, people be watching the reviews. So, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I won't do it. I'm gonna just say, okay.
Well, hey, we let you drag us back into Detroit, so you might drag us back in.
Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't drag y'all into Detroit.
Back into Detroit.
Back into Detroit.
Oh, but you did. You did, baby.
No, I didn't.
You did. We only in Detroit because of you.
We said we will only do it if Really B does it, and you said, yeah, we'll do it. So we blame you.
We back in Detroit because
that is not how I remember that conversation going. But okay, then.
Really, it's cold. It's cold out here in Detroit, and we freezing. We freezing because of you.
That is not how I remember that conversation going. But okay then. All right then. Okay.
Oh, little baby said folks gonna watch that show without that lady. Okay. All right, y'all. So now the couples are all getting back together after the baby sprinkle. Anthony points out that Christina and Kim seem to be in a much better space than when we saw them at the dinner hollering at each other. Christina admits that no matter what they've been through, love was never the issue. And then they get all, she gets all teary-eyed. And Kim says that, I felt betrayed by my sister. And so then Lakita asks Colby and Toya how they feel about Christina now. And then Toya says,
is she still talking about this cell phone thing?
I don't even know what they mad at each other for no more. I ain't even gonna hold you because they put so much space. I know it's about a cell phone and whatever, but I'm gonna be honest. I just don't even know. This is the detriment to Really B's point. She said it the other day. How dare you, Carlos King, to put us on break for literally 3 more episodes? Now, granted, I'm happy it's over, but we could have finished this up. We could have finished this up later.
Same thing with Ready to Love. Like, I do not understand why we're on pause. Like, why are we on pause for Ready to Love?
Because we're not going to remember nobody's name when we come back. No. We're not going to...
I was barely remembering their name. I was going to say, I was barely remembering their name in real time, so...
Look, JB said nobody want to take ownership for Detroit. Nope.
JB, who you going to believe? JB, who you going to believe?
Really, but you need to go on and take ownership.
All right, y'all. So Lakita, she asked how Colby and Christina. Toya says that they were good, but she, did second guess things with the Chelsea situation. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all know I'm a LaToya fan, so before y'all start throwing tomatoes in the comments in the chat, stop. Okay, before y'all start throwing tomatoes in the chat, she was wrong. You need to let it go. I did not like this version of LaToya. I think that you have nothing else to talk about, so you harp on this whole Chelsea thing. And I'm not here for it. I'll be honest. I don't like seeing this side of her. I like classy. I'm above this type of and I feel like you're trying to like that. I feel like that's Anthony's job to be petty. And the problem is she's not good at she's not good at that.
You know what's so funny? This was actually the only time I kind of enjoyed her. Was this episode when I saw her standing up for her and her husband and not letting Anthony do it. Actually, this was the only time.
Oh, okay. Well, not JB. I caught that. Chuck about to get what version of LaToya do you like? Like, and as Nels was saying, I like the LaToya that's very demure, very cutesy. I'm above.
I think she's above everybody.
Right. Like, and so, I like that level, Dr. LaToya. You know what I mean? But I don't like when she tries to be, because she's just not good at it. She's not good at it. And that's the unfortunate part. It's one of those situations where it's like a Joy and Clifton, where you have somebody who really wants to be on the show. And so they're very like throwing themselves in the mix, i.e. Anthony. And then you have a Joy who's like, I really don't even want to be on the show for real. I don't want this type of attention. And so when they try to do stuff, we can't.
The stuck up version.
Well, I guess, Nita, I'm dodging your tomatoes. I'm dodging. Okay. I'm dodging them. But yeah, y'all. So anyway, so then Colby says that her and Christina aren't where they were before, but they're okay. So Christina then takes like offense to this because she feels like she's done all she can to show Colby that she's genuine, and says that she ain't got no more to give and she ain't willing to do more. So, and
I don't understand what the problem is with that. I think people really need to understand that me and you can agree to no longer be friends, but still be in a good space. And I feel like that's what Colby was saying in that moment. I feel like Colby was like, look, me and her are not there. We ain't there. And we probably will never be there again, but we're in a good space. I don't feel like Colby was saying, I want her to do more. I feel like she hasn't kissed my ass enough. Like, I don't feel like that's what Colby was saying at all. Mm-hmm. I feel like Colby was like, listen, we're not there, but I'm good with where we are. I don't know. I feel like sometimes people just want to fight. Just want to fight.
I agree. So then Brandon asked Anthony how much money he's invested in Toya's business in the last 6 months, which irritates Anthony and LaToya, of course, and they want to know why he's in his pockets. And I was Y'all, can I just tell you, I really didn't have anything to give. I'm trying to give y'all something. Then Bravo asked Russell how he plans to manage his planning for a third child. He got this military job. Now he got the gym. And he says that he thinks that he, at this point, oh, go ahead, baby. Go ahead, please, because I ain't got no more to give. Go ahead.
So I'm being very transparent right now. I didn't watch last week's episode because I was in Atlanta, and of all the things I needed to catch up on,
you didn't miss nothing.
It just was at the bottom of my to-do list.
And
so
you didn't miss nothing.
I just picked up with this week's episode.
It wasn't a priority for you, really, B.
It just was not. Now, with that being said, though, I do have a question. That was such a random ass question. Did I miss something in last week's episode that would dictate Brandon asking Anthony about how much he invested? Because that just seemed like a random fucking question. What did I miss last week where that would make sense?
So when they were arguing, you saw the argument where Chelsea was at the studio, right?
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay, you remember where they were talking about where Anthony was like, "Oh, I invested in my wife. He spent 200,000, 250K or something like that," and was like, "Oh, maybe you need to invest in your wife." So then that kind of carried over to last week's episode, talking about investing in their wife and all this other mess. So that's what he was saying. He was basically asking how much did he invest in his wife in the last 6 months.
So it was still a dumbass question. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I said it was stupid.
I still don't. I mean, thank you for breaking it down, but it still feels like it was just Brandon being. Don't get me wrong. Y'all know how I feel about Anthony. Y'all know how I feel about Anthony, but it still felt like it was Brandon being real extra in that moment. Like, I'm just gonna come up with something messy to fucking say. It was just so random. Unless it was just really bad editing. It felt like it just came out of nowhere. You know? So okay. All right, thank you.
So
baby.
then, Russell said he can stop and smell the flowers at this point. You know, they asked him how many more years he has in the military, and this I try so hard because he's fine. I try so hard to really like Russell. I do because he's fine. I'm gonna give him his things. He's fine. However, the problem is when he opens his mouth. It's not so fine. Okay. Because then he goes on to tell them that he has 20 more years that he's going to do, and we can already see that he's not around for filming and certain things. And she has to show up by herself because he gets called out for duty. I don't know what he does or what his position is. Maybe is he National Guard? Maybe that's why he gets called out like that.
I mean, I guess my question is, how long have you already served? Because I thought
because he said 20 more years.
Yeah, he said 20 more years.
Why are you doing 20 more years, sir? Like, I'm so
confused. He's not stopping and smelling.
It gotta be like reserve. It can't be full time.
That's what I'm thinking. Lock Queen said Russell makes it so hard to like him.
I agree. Yeah, I thought he was fine too, and I just can't say it no more.
Right.
What's up, Marcus?
And so obviously this bothers Colby because she said, here we go. It's another decision that Russ has made and is discussing with other people, but it clearly has not had this discussion with her. So for once, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really care for Marcel. I think, or Kim, they're kind of quirky, weird. I'm just not, nothing about them appeals to me. But for once, I love when Marcel told him, yo, you need to be careful and you probably really need to sit and have a conversation with your wife about this. He's like, I've seen 2 separate marriages. One went well and the other one did not go so well because
I think he also said in one of them had the conversation.
Right. And one of them had the conversation. And so for once I said, well, at least you there serving a purpose, doing something, Marcel, because I couldn't figure it out before. So then they changed the subject. Right. So then they asked Christina about her music, which y'all know we don't care. Okay, I'm just be honest. But she says she's debating whether she wants to be an artist. Really be put the hand up. Go ahead, Really be. Go ahead.
No, because I don't want to, because you be on a roll, girl. I don't be wanting to disrupt you. But I think that the other reason why he may have said that is because I feel like everybody sitting at that table could read Kobe's face and knew that Kobe was not feeling the military. Like, I feel like that was maybe their way of trying to let him know, danger, danger, danger. Like, bro, you need to talk to her. Because it was clear to everybody at that table that Kobe was not feeling that shit. Like,
I agree. I agree.
Too. But yeah,
Chuck said, didn't Russell pressure this baby onto Colby? I don't like any of these people, even Brandon's mob union. All the children step on my bunions. You are so funny, Chuck. Now, let me tell you this, Chuck. I would side with you about this Russell pressured Colby, but unfortunately, as we know, it takes two. And Colby already said
to try for a boy. I don't think I think she wanted to try for a boy. I don't think she was enthusiastic about having another child so soon. I think she wanted more space, but she does want a boy. So I think
no. And I think Russ wants a boy, and that's why she said it, because I knew if I had a boy, we'd be done.
Right. Now I know she ain't trying to have another one though. I don't think she's interested at all.
At the table, you didn't hear him talking about a third?
No, I know. I heard, but she's been very clear that she's not interested. So
but to your point, Chuck, Colby was trying. It's not just all on Russ, and I don't like how she painted that or did that, because yes, he wanted another baby more than she did, but she had to lay down with him and busted wide open in order for for them to do that. Okay, so she knew what she was doing. There's for every action there's a reaction. Well, I don't even know who Angela and Queen Louie. No, I don't even know who this is, DeMarcus. I love you, but I don't even know who this is. And again, we trying to get out of Detroit, DeMarcus. We trying to get out of Detroit. Enough with these singing wives. I completely agree with you. They can talk all the walk. Unless Colby gives the ultimatum, Russell's not changing. Thank you for saving your tomatoes, Ocean Dreaming. I don't like that. I get heartburn when I have too much tomato sauce. So, I appreciate you. Chuck said, oh, yes, I'm not taking anything off of Colby, but they will try for, even though what really be said, I absolutely think that she's going to still, because that's what Russ wants. And I think she feels like having a little boy, she'll be closer to the little boy because her little girls already popping off at her. They got mouth. They got things to say and opinions, and
And I'm mad at you.
I'm mad at you. I said, the way I would have. Jesus on the main line. I know we're supposed to be evolving, Black people, not supposed to hit the kids. But anyway,
you can still yoke them up though. Just
yoke them up a little bit. And so I guess we're supposed to be believing Christina as an artist or just making music, and then Brandon gets on her about how you're always basically you're using the kids as an excuse. And I can't hold you. I did like when he was like, so you have a performance this week. And then she was like, but what about the kids? Who are going to watch the kids? Now I will say this. Clearly Christina is the only one taking care of them kids.
But you don't have a problem dropping off the kids for y'all date nights when you want to spend quality time together.
Well, he said, well, you be at church all night. So listen, child, she just don't want to sing because she knew she was gonna sound like she sounded.
Yo, I gave her some great. We need to get there. All right, so Nels, get to her rehearsal, please.
DeMarcus, we already answered that question.
Rehearsal did sound bad.
Hold on, DeMarcus, we already answered that question, baby. You gotta go back to a little bit back in the live. We already answered that question.
Oh yeah, we did answer that already, baby. Go ahead, Nels.
So yeah, Christina is with Brandon rehearsing for her new song, her new single that she don't even know the words for.
Don't even know the words.
Bravo and Chelsea show up. And he said Brandon didn't have anywhere for Christina to perform. I guess he just pulled this out his ass and then said, he can definitely come perform at his newly remodeled club. Okay. Christina has explained to everybody that she feels unprepared. She's definitely said she's going to need some support. And Brandon said he feels this is the fire that they needed to get stuff off the ground and get things together. Bravo let her know that he rebranded his club, so it's a more intimate setting, and it's a better way. What better way to launch for my little sister? So Chelsea tells her that she gotta get that, take the emotion out of it, step up to the plate, and mentally get there. They get into, the staycation, and Christina let Chelsea know that her name came up immediately. Okay. She told her that Anthony and LaToya felt some type of way, that she was there and felt like that they were being messy and disrespectful for even bringing her to the podcast. Bravo asked, was there anybody that she didn't want to invite? That was at the staycation, and they all agreed that everybody should be there. While Brandon feels that, the friends will give you constructive criticism, while the best feedback is from your haters.
And it's a cast thing, and so you got to go, so you can't uninvite. That's really what that's about. Yes, we can all resonate on the fact that Russell is fine. Yes, he is
physically,
right. But so then we actually jump over to Russell. Thank you, Ocean. That was a great segue. They're preparing the room for the new baby, and Colby says that she's going to need more time from him until the au pair arrives, because I guess it's going to be a couple months. And he assures her that he'll be there, but Colby doesn't believe that. Then he questions how he's going to share time between the two daughters. And I told y'all, I think I already said this. That's why I always wonder. I applaud people who have multiple kids, especially close in age, because how do you split love, time, and all that other stuff, and making everybody feel important? But he feels like, and with two kids, it just means like, he really got to grind, and, there's no room to mess up. And I was like, well, what are you going to do with three kids? You're going to be a pastor, a gym owner, in the military. And unfortunately, this is what I don't like about Russell, because you're doing all these things, and yes, you're providing, but you're not, and I don't want to say not nurturing. He's not going to be present with his kids as much as he probably should be. And he's going to use providing as a reason to not have to be there. That's the only thing I don't like. Don't be having kids that you can't spend time with.
That's somebody I would have told I don't feel emotionally safe. Because every time I tell you what the hell is going on with me, you do something else I don't like. Something else I discussed with you that is a problem.
I said this last season, and I'm going to keep saying it because I feel like it's appropriate. Russell has that very old-fashioned view of marriage, and he feels like as long as he is providing and paying the bills, that he can do that, everything else is fine. I don't think he consults with Colby because he doesn't feel like he has to, because in his mind, this is what marriage is. I bring home the bacon, you cook it. That's it. Don't question how I got home with the bacon. Don't question how long it took me to get the bacon. Just know that the bacon is here and you don't have to go get it. And I agree.
And I understand that. I was gonna say, and I understand that, but if I'm asking you,
I hear what you're saying.
How you got the bacon, and not like if I'm asking you to do these things and I'm asking you to communicate, I think you should do. I think you should do it. I think you should try at least.
But and I hear what you're saying, but I guess what I'm saying is I feel like this goes back, and this is what I said last season when I was reviewing the show. I'm not saying I agree with how Russell thinks, but what I'm saying is Russell has been consistent in how he thinks.
That's true.
Which makes me believe that when they were dating, this is how he was thinking. That when they went to premarital counseling, which I'm sure they did because they're so into the church and all of that, I'm sure they sat down and had some. I feel like this is who Russell has always been. I feel like Colby chose to ignore it, probably because her life is a lot easier. You heard her saying that she's gonna use everything in her power to make her life easier. So if Russell made her life easier, I think she was okay with that life until the baby got here.
I was gonna say also because they didn't have kids at the time.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is you can't, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying Colby, you can't expect him to be somebody different now that the child is here, because this is who he's always been. I believe that Russell has been this person. I agree. I don't feel like Russell has ever felt like he had to run stuff. Remember, she said that he bought a house and didn't consult her. Like, remember, like this is who he's been their entire marriage. So now you want him to be somebody different. That's not fair to him. We may not like the person that Russell is, but that's who he's always been. And that's not fair. He might be, he may be conniving and he may be selfish, but that's who he's always been. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This Russell has been consistent. So, yeah, but I think Colby knew that before she got married and she made a difference. But I don't believe that, Chuck. I believe Colby knew exactly who he was. I do not believe that Russell is saying anything different now than he said then. I just think that people tend to hear what they want to hear. What I think Kobe heard was, oh, I don't have to work. Oh, you want to retire me? Oh, good. But now that those selfish decisions are affecting her in this way, now I think she's frustrated and she wants something different. And I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. And again, do I agree with Russell? Do I think that's fair? Do I think that's okay for him to treat his wife like that? No, I don't agree with any of that. But I honestly don't feel like he's saying anything different today than he said 6 years ago when they first started dating, or however long it was. I just don't believe it. I believe this is who he's always been.
Yeah.
Nope, I agree. I love what Ravine said. Kobe being on TV made her want different, in my opinion. Xavier said Kobe needs to leave. She's already a single parent. It's either this or shut up. Well, Lil Baby said a lot of women turn their heads away from a lot of BS so they can have an easy life. Chuck said then she needs to shut up and suffer in silence.
I agree. I agree. I've been saying that since last season. I mean, again, I just feel like once we heard matter of fact, I think what did it for me was when Russell had the conversation with her father. Russell said the same thing to her father. Like, this is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't switch up his conversation because he was talking to her father. He was like, well, I mean, I was going to tell her that I was in divinity school or whatever it was. I was going to tell her, but I just didn't think that, he didn't switch it up. Like, this is just who he is. Now, the person I would like to meet Russell's family, because that might give us some insight.
That's true. Lauren said Russell reminds me of Marceau and his way of thinking. They come off as very direct men about the living arrangements and marriage. They just didn't wake up this way today. Okay.
And I feel the same thing about Marceau. I felt the exact same thing about Marceau. You may not like Marceau, but Marceau has been the same person. And Letitia knew who Marceau was.
Well, all right, go and get it. I know Nails want to do this so bad. She want to do the locations one so bad.
Locations.
The Bravo, the Bravo and Keita. I know she want to do this one.
So Bravo and Keita went sunglass shopping. It looked like a jewelry store, but they was going to get some Cartiers. So she feels like.
I wonder if Retro was still in the chat. I gotta ask him: is Cartier's a real thing? Was that a real Detroit thing?
He said it is. He said, look, welcome to Detroit. Okay, you got the yays now. All right. So she feels like this is just another thing, drawing more attention to him. So he said he had a conversation with Brandon about it. He knows that he needs to allow her to know, the safe places that he's going after an unsafe time. And she said, maybe we need to do like Christina and Brandon and share our locations. Now, he wasn't giving the same energy.
The way that man started stuttering?
Yeah, look, but he wasn't giving what he was giving to Brandon. He's like, I ain't sharing no location.
Right.
And, he said, do you really want to be like them? Because the overthinking and sharing locations, that's probably part of their issues. I said, okay,
I like how he did that. I said, go ahead, Bravo. You tried it.
But Keita wasn't going for it.
Okay.
Because he said, you know what, that he ain't got no problem sharing location. Put an Apple tag on me. She said, no, we can do it right now. Let's. He was like, send me the request. Look, she like, okay, well, let's get that done. Quick in a hurry. All right. I see you. And then this man goes like, well, son, please don't be stalking me. And she will. And did exactly what it's gonna be.
Right. Oh, JB said he's a no to we not sharing locations either. Okay, so can I ask the question? And I really want to know this because I've had this conversation. Oh, I love this. Xavier said, Alexa, play Joe Stutter. Yes. But no, this is my line of thinking. Do I have my man's location? No. However, I think that to me, if you have an issue with it, what are you doing that you don't want me to see? I think that's just the first thing that pops up in my mind. Like, because if you're not, like, I'm never really doing anything. So it wouldn't bother me if people want to, like, oh, you was here and da-da-da, and I just want to make sure you got to your place safely. Like, not, like he said, tracking me, whether I went to the Target or the gas station, but like some real stuff, I guess because I'm not doing nothing. So it just makes me think people that do have why is that? And I just want to hear y'all explanations. I'm not saying it makes you right or wrong. I just want to hear the different explanations of why that is. Because I know a lot of people feel that way. Some people feel very strongly that they're not sharing locations.
I know that's right, Xavier.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what I would do if I were in a relationship and my significant other wanted to share locations. Like, I don't know if I would care or not. But what I will say is I think part of the problem with sharing locations, if it's not a safety issue, and in her case, I think that's her excuse. I really don't think it's a safety issue. But if it's not a safety issue, my issue is you become obsessed, right? You checking it every 5 minutes. And like you said, if I decide I'm going to go to the Target instead of go to the grocery store, and you call me and I say, oh, I'm on my way down to the grocery store, and you look 5 minutes later, I'm at the Target. If you're looking for something to have a problem with, you have a problem. And I think for people, if your issue is trust, then we got a bigger issue.
Agree. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't think it makes a difference whether you do or don't have it. Because if the issue is trust, and that's why maybe to her, because that's why I was like, well, Bravo, if you're not doing nothing, then, and you know this would make her more comfortable, like Brandon said, then yeah, just give up the location. But
I don't think it's gonna make her more comfortable, because that's not her real problem.
Well,
because again, her real issue is that she, in my opinion, her real issue is that she doesn't trust him. So sharing the location, because just like you said,
Bravo.
Right, just like she said, well, all that, you just gonna see that I'm at the club, But if my issue is trust, it doesn't matter whether you're at the club or not, because now I'm gonna find something else. Well, how do I know you just didn't leave your phone at the club and you was really across the street at the Hyatt? How do I know that your girlfriend? Huh?
My fault. I was reading the comment.
Oh, how do I know that your girlfriend's not at the club with you and y'all just not in VIP privately? Like, again, if your issue is trust, then you're going to find the problem. It's just going to be more and more and more. Now, if it really truly is, for example, I used this the other day. We were talking about something totally different, but I said this on my live the other day. I share locations with my niece. I share locations with my parents. Why? Because my parents are older, and I honestly never check it. Like, because 90% of the time I can call them and I know where they are. But if for any particular reason, my niece is in Detroit by herself, she doesn't have family there. So yeah, a lot of times she's driving, she's traveling. I never check it. I check it when there's a reason to check it. If she's on her way to visit me and I know she's driving, I will check it. Right. For very specific purposes, I can do it. But just to be like, if I start dating somebody and if I'm getting ready to travel and he's like, yo, share your location with me, because I want to make sure I can understand. But just on some EP every day, no. Because now I feel like the one time that if I say the one thing wrong, it's gonna be a problem. So the one day, maybe hell, I might be at the mall looking for a gift for you. And I told you, oh, I'm about to go get me some crabs. But you look up and I'm in Macy's. Now you're like, what the fuck you doing in Macy's? Because you're already looking for a problem, in my opinion. Okay. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about that one.
All right. Well, Xavier said Bravo was saying everything without saying him and his girlfriends want to be out and about on the town. Miss Gigi said we grown. I'm not sharing locations. Trust is your issue, not mine. Okay. Lil Baby said you ain't gonna run me. That's why. Lock Queen said it's just privacy, in my opinion. Everyone deserves privacy. I do admit, I agree. I don't disagree. JB says for the purpose of safety, yes, but other than that, no. I don't want to get a text asking what you doing there. See, I think that's what I'm saying. I don't think it should be that. And I don't know. I don't be doing that. I'm just be so innocent, y'all. Ocean said, my bad, bladder butt had to go pee. So, okay. I don't think anybody said anything about Virgos.
Yes, I would have clocked it.
Yeah, Nels would have clocked it for you. You know she don't play. JB says, I'm very sporadic and I can be out going one place and then think of something else to do.
Okay. Yeah, I do it all the time.
It shouldn't, but nobody should question you about that. That's what I'm saying. Ravine said, I share location with my daughter. I check when I need. Sometimes I forget I even have it. Sean said, Bravo has a dangerous job. I live in Detroit and it's not about trust. It's about safety. Okay. Thank you for weighing in, Sean. I appreciate that perspective.
I appreciate that, Sean. I just do have a question though. And again, I respect your opinion. I don't want you to think I'm coming at you. I'm just asking for my own understanding. what if it's a safety issue? What is her having his location going to change? How is that going to make? I'm not being funny. I'm really trying to understand. How is her knowing where he is going to make it a safer space for him? And I'm just asking. I'm coming at you.
The only thing I could think of is where to find the body.
Yeah, and I hate to be morbid like that, but I mean, if he got shot, if he got robbed, if somebody stole his car, the only thing I can think of is if he got kidnapped. Like, that's it. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really not trying to be funny, but I'm just not understanding how that makes him safer with her knowing where he is. But okay.
Well, again, I appreciate y'all.
Relationship is different. Whatever makes y'all feel comfortable in y'all relationship, child.
It make him unsafe because she gonna come bust down the door when he out of town with his girlfriends.
Well, you are so terrible. So Bravo is showing off this new space to Chelsea before Christina's big performance, y'all. And they're all trying to hype her up to calm her nerves before the show. So everyone starts to arrive, ready to see, the big unveiling. Brandon goes to introduce Christina, and then Christina talks about how this song is about her marriage. It's called Final Destination. They give us a package that we didn't need, a reminder of why these two probably shouldn't be married, but they think that, this is the final destination for them. And so, and little do you know, I wanted to, when it was funny, when she said the name of the song was called Final Destination, I was like, and it's about her marriage. I said, do you know what, like, the reputation that comes with the term Final Destination? Unfortunately, we all put that to a horror movie where nothing ends well for anybody in it. Okay. But okay, girl. So, my notes.
She's beating the odds, Trace.
So hold on. My notes say that she didn't sound terrible. And the cast co-signs, okay, that her performance was good. Brandon tells her how proud he is. And,
Did you see his comment?
Yes, I did. So Brandon is telling her how proud he is, and she listens to the feedback from everybody. And Chelsea is, telling her, like, you did good, and you got out your own way. And then she notices that there's some tension coming from LaToya and Colby's side. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, I felt this was really stupid. And this is when I really kind of turned my nose up at LaToya. So basically, LaToya brings up the fact that she didn't like her conduct in her husband's place of business. She then tells her that, she felt her reaction was ghetto. Chelsea admits, no, it wasn't ghetto, but it was unprofessional. And that's why I had to give Chelsea her things. You're not going to call me ghetto, but yes, I was unprofessional. Okay. However, they get into this whole back and forth because Chelsea is like, but there were also shots being thrown at me. And LaToya was like, well, no, there wasn't. And you shouldn't even be there. And I was like, but you weren't there, LaToya. So I'm gonna need you. And I get it. She's gonna side with her husband.
Well, no, I don't think she was totally wrong. You wouldn't have been there to catch the shots if you weren't there. Okay. I don't need to be there to realize that you shouldn't have been there. People don't want you around. People don't want you there. You weren't invited by the host. So the shots you're referring to, him ignoring your existence, and I'm not saying this right, because he definitely shouldn't have did that as a man, but the fact that he ignored your existence, because really that's the only shot that he took. You shouldn't have been there to get it.
You know what it gives me a little bit? It kind of reminds me, and I don't know if this is why they're mad at her. You remember how a lot of people, and maybe it's not the right type of like comparison, but you remember how a lot of people on Real Housewives of Atlanta did not like Marlo. And then you would always have that one person that was friends with her that would bring her into the group to cause a ruckus. And I think that's how Chelsea and Colby and the rest of the cast see Chelsea as the Marlo. And Christina keeps bringing her around and she keeps causing destruction. So they just want her to, can you please, we didn't ask her to be a friend of the show. Can you stop bringing her? I think that's what they're real, because she's not a cast member. So I think that's their real issue.
But it's not just Christina, it's Brandon too. Remember Brandon took her to the jewelry store?
Right,
it's not just Christina. But I think I think your point. I hear your point. I hear what you're saying. But I also think for me, part of the problem is she is rude. she does try to like she is kind of like she's rude as fuck. And every time she's around, she's extra and she's rude. And yes, I get it. Anthony called her a bird in the first season of the first episode, first season. Man, we are at the end of season 2. He has already apologized. At what point do we let that shit go? And I feel like every time she is on camera, her whole purpose of being there is to cause problems and to be rude and to be nasty. And honestly, I'm with LaToya on this one. You do act ghetto, and you were in a professional. You do. What's the difference between ghetto and what's the difference? Tell me the difference. Tell me the difference.
This is the only time we can really be.
Can I get some confetti in the chat? Can I get some confetti in the chat? The one time I disagree with LaToya, they agree with her. Can I get some confetti in the chat?
Actually enjoyed LaToya this episode. Because
LaToya, I mean, at what point I feel like Anthony in that, because again, I give Anthony what I'm gonna give, but in that point, Anthony was very professional. He was talking to, first of all, they were unprofessional because he's right. I invited her. Like, girl, you are not Beyonce. You do not need to show up with an entourage, right? Mm-hmm. I invited you to come do a fucking podcast that probably 5 people listen to. It's not that deep. And then Brandon shows up and Chelsea, who you already know don't fuck with him. You know that Chelsea and Anthony do not get along. You know that. Why is she here? Why is she here, Harpo? And then Brandon is going to sit on the couch in between him to the point where they got to rearrange the mic. Like, that whole situation was disrespectful as fuck. And it was rude. And for her to be like, well, I was unprofessional, but I wasn't ghetto. Well, then if you know you were unprofessional, then you should have led with, when you saw Anthony, you should have led with an apology to Anthony for being unprofessional. And if you didn't see Anthony, then you should, because I don't understand what the difference is. She was ghetto as fuck. And she been ghetto. And I wasn't even mad at Anthony calling her a bird because she was acting like a bird that day. But I know he was wrong for him to say it. But I didn't feel like his sentiments was wrong.
I love me some Really B. All right, y'all. So Really B broke that down. And then
you was talking about how this is the one episode you didn't like her. I told you I did like her this episode. It sounded really weird.
Like I said, I just y'all spent all. I can't stand her. I'll be trying to defend her. And then
this episode, she's not giving what she right now. She's not giving like I'm better than y'all. That's not what she's giving right now. She's defending her husband and defending, the situation. But normally she got her nose up in the air.
Well, then Colby somehow interjects herself in this situation, and I'm sorry. I said what I said, Colby. You interjected. Nobody was addressing you. Nobody was talking to you. I know nobody wants to say that because we genuinely like Colby, but
I ain't got no problem saying that. I'm agreeing with you. I'm nodding my head. I'm agreeing with you.
Right.
Christina told her that she interjected.
Right. And she said, you're doing too much. So then Colby gets hype, and I'm just gonna blame it on hormones at this point. Because she's like, yeah, well, that's messed up because you never addressed Chelsea. And I'm just like, sis, this is not even your fight. Like I get you wanting to be, have LaToya's back, but that's between LaToya, Chelsea, and Anthony in that situation. And I get where Christina was coming from. You just want a problem with me. And so you're going to use Chelsea now as the reason why you don't like me. But let's just call a thing a thing. We just not cool no more. Like Really B said earlier this episode, we should be able to come to a place where we're just cordial, but we're not besties anymore. And if you know that, don't be expecting her to jump up and address somebody that she actually is besties with, especially when she wasn't even addressing you.
Yeah, I agree. Colby. Oh no, on that one, I 100% agree. Colby, you interjected in the situation. I do feel like LaToya had a place to say something, but Colby, girl, you just don't like her. And again, has that woman been rude to you, Colby? Yes, she has. But that wasn't your fight. Like, that didn't have nothing. That wasn't. Right.
Yeah. No. And so then, of course, Russell realizes things again, so he whisks his pregnant wife out of there, and that was pretty much the end of the episode. And Kim agrees that Latoya and Colby both feel like, slighted by Christina. And I said, these people, in my opinion, don't really like each other. I think that's why it was so hard. And I think that it came across on screen. I did feel like a lot of this was forced, even though they said they had been friends for years. But yeah, let's y'all thoughts. I'm about to go through these comments.
Thank you, Jesus. It's over.
Yeah. It's clear to me. It's clear to me that this was not supposed to be the end. I feel like either production quit on the show or Carlos quit on the show. I feel like Carlos was like, shut it down. Like, they're not giving me what I need, the show. And I feel like he just decided to air what they had.
Right.
But I don't believe that in any shape or form. I would be flabbergasted if this show was coming back. I think Carlos was just, as a courtesy, letting the show play out and giving us the rest of the season. I think the ratings speak for themselves. This clearly was not supposed to be the end. No show ends like this. This clearly was not supposed to be the finale.
So you think I'm laughing, right? So what are you going to do next week? And this is for a question for the audience as well as the panel. What are you going to do next week if at the reunion, because like you said, no season should have ended like this. There was really no closure to anything. We don't think Christina's an amazing performer after this. I mean, I guess we got some resolve between Kim and Christina. Colby and Christina are still on out, but there's no resolve like that you usually get in like a final finale of a season. So what if Carlos announced that they're getting a third season next week and it picks up where they left off?
We're not leaving it up to you, really, B. We're not going to leave it up to you. We're not doing it.
And the only reason I say that is because, to really B's point, it's not supposed to end like this. We still got Colby supposed to be having her baby, all these other things, the breakup, the actual breakdown, because again, I feel like we already know Brandon and Christina are not in the same household, so they're gonna end up breaking apart again. I feel like you could use that for a whole.
Are they not together anymore?
At least they were separated. Last I heard, they weren't living in the same house.
Oh, really? Because remember at the premiere, they were all lovey-dovey at the premiere.
Right, and then they did interviews after the premiere talking about how they don't live in the same house, child.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're very much we gonna do what we need to do to get this shit.
Well, I think listen, when I say that it seems like Carlos just goes out and finds a carbon copy for all of these shows, because honestly, Brandon and Christina were the Mel and Martell. Remember how Mel and Martell was separated and then they got back together to do the show?
Right.
I think that was, I feel like that's with Brandon and Christina. I think that I'm not surprised. Let me just leave it at that. I'm not surprised that they're not together.
Well, y'all, so that was the finale. We will catch you next week for the reunion and close out this season 2 of Love and Marriage Detroit. And I'm grateful. I feel blessed on this Sunday to be able to say that. And I know that sounds terrible. And we probably shouldn't talk about it like that. But again, we love the opportunity and time to come up here and spend with y'all and Kiki and try to make the best of it. Look, Bluebell said, I'll pass on the reunion. It's okay. We respect it. We ain't holding no hard feelings. Like I said, we got into this under some real strange agreement. Now, what I will tell you, I hope comes back this summer. And I feel like I think they're filming. I don't know. I think Family Empire is going to come back for season 2. And I would be here for that because I enjoyed season 1. What you think, really?
Yeah. No, I will be here for season 2. I don't know if they're filming though.
I feel like, I don't know, because they just did something big, like a big family event, and everybody was there, which made me feel like, and maybe, I mean, they family in real life, but it just made
and
me
I know
feel
they
like
had the rodeo. Like I saw them putting up stuff for the rodeo.
Right.
I know Chris is still doing content for them because I follow his Instagram. So I know he still does content for the realty, so they might be.
Right.
They might be.
Well, all right, y'all. We appreciate you. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday. What you got going on in your channel, Really Big? Let the people know before we get off here.
So we're doing, like we were saying earlier, I have Real Housewives of Atlanta, Raising Kanan, which I know my goal is to get caught up today on Raising Kanan.
Oh yeah, because you're like 3 episodes behind, right?
Girl, yes. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna do. So here's my plan. My plan is to pre-record the 2 episodes that I'm behind and just upload those as pre-records, and I'll go live for the 3rd episode, and then if do it that way. That's my plan. But right now, I'm feeling like I want some crab legs, so I'm trying to fight the feeling of going out this house and going to get some crab legs so I can get this damn Raising Canaan done. But tonight is Love and Marriage. Tonight is the Real Housewives of Atlanta at 9:30. That'll be live. And then of course Love After Lockup, and then these 2 shows. I really think that's all I have going on right now, you guys. So I will be on my channel. I will start doing my retro reviews again. So that's what I'm going to start doing. So if you're into like retro reviews, come on over. We're going to be doing some retro reviews, chat. So that's what we got going on right now.
Thank you, boo. And if you guys haven't already, make sure y'all go and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed to ReallyBTV and ReallyBTV reviews, y'all.
Oh, and Beyond the Gates with JB. Beyond the Gates with JB.
Oh, yes, Beyond the Gates with JB. We can't forget about that. They have their weekly panel. I think y'all do it on Saturdays, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part. Yeah. I may come join y'all. I couldn't join y'all this week because I was in a soccer game. So, soccer Saturdays. But I want to jump on there with y'all one week. Thank you, Bluebell. We appreciate you. Yes, make sure y'all tune in. As y'all know, I'm dropping, of course, as many episodes as they give us Beyond the Gates. I try to give y'all the daily recaps and stay up to date. We got Raising Canaan tonight. We're doing episode 8. As you know, it's episode 8. So that means we only got 2 more episodes, and then it's the end of the season, y'all. So that's crazy. Like I said, these TV streets about to get real dry. Make sure y'all stay tuned. We are late posting 90 Day, but expect that today. Before the new episode drops. We need to drop a Hot Topics. We haven't done one of those for y'all in a while. So please just stay tuned. Keep the notification bell on. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure that you guys subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the Blue Sky, because really be on Blue Sky too, and we be out here live skying. The Facebook, the IG, and the TikTok, and really be popping on TikTok. Okay,
I'm trying.
I'm trying out here on TikTok. Okay?
Trying to get the TikTok popping. I'm trying, honey. I'm trying.
But yeah, we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good week. Be blessed. Stay safe. Have a good one. Bye bye.